A very good afternoon. This is Apanindra Som and you're listening to the news in detail on Gold FM.
The news headlines on Gold FM.
Fuel shortages persist across the country. QR troubles continue. 3 billion rupee drug haul linked to Salindu. Iran denies seeking ceasefire as Hormuz remains partially open. Netanyahu dismisses death rumors. Middle East conflict delays LPL prayer draft.
The top story on Gold FM.
Transport unions and public officials report severe disruptions to essential services following the introduction of the QR-based fuel rationing system. President of the Container Transport Owners Association, Sanath Manjula, warned that the current quotas impede the transport of imported goods ahead of the upcoming New Year festival. Speaking at a press conference, he noted that the restrictions create a logistical crisis for heavy vehicle operators. The Sri Lanka United Gramanildari Association also highlights significant delays in field duties, including disaster relief efforts. Association President Nandana Ranasinghe calls for an immediate increase in the weekly allowance from 5 litres to 20 litres to maintain administrative functions. Further complications emerged at Hambantota Port, where Indika Samath Meranchige of the Vehicle Importers Association noted that unregistered vehicles face total exclusion from the system. Long queues persist at filling stations nationwide as motorists struggle to adapt to the digital registration process. Many citizens express frustration over technical difficulties and insufficient fuel volumes, while others spend hours waiting for deliveries to arrive.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
The Government Medical Law Officers Association cautioned the newly reintroduced fuel limits will disrupt essential health services across the island. Specialist doctors and administrative officers face significant travel hurdles due to the 15-litre weekly limit imposed on motorcars under the National Fuel Pass. The association highlighted that medical personnel in remote areas cannot maintain emergency or routine care under current QR-based allocations. The GMOA now demands an immediate and practical solution to grant frontline staff priority access to higher fuel volumes. Authorities intercepted a multi-day fishing trawler carrying heroin valued at approximately 3 billion rupees. A joint operation involving the Navy, Coast Guard and police led to the discovery of 123 kilograms of the illicit substance following an intelligence tip-off. The vessel named Dinush was apprehended 500 kilometers south of Dondra. Officers detained 5 suspects aged between 25 and 40, all residents of Minister and Dondra. 2 satellite phones were also recovered during the search. Investigations suggest the shipment belonged to an alleged overseas-based kingpin known as Kudu Salindu and was destined for an associate named Polatumodra Sarath. Initial inquiries revealed the trawler's skipper received 3 million rupees for the transport, allegedly acting under death threats. While the crew expected a delivery of firearms at sea, the weapons failed to arrive before the naval interception. Now, in a separate development, the Navy detained another trawler from Beruala earlier today. The vessel remains under escort to the Covida port with 6 suspects and 10 packages of suspected narcotics on board. Meanwhile, police arrested a woman under money laundering laws for allegedly pawning gold purchased with drug profits earned between 2019 and 2023. Pivithru Hellunume leader Udaya Kammampila stated that he will expose the masterminds behind the Easter Sunday attacks on the 31st of this month. Speaking at a press conference in Colombo today, claimed to possess information regarding those responsible for the 2019 bombings. In the interest of clarity, we have left his remarks undubbed.
ගිය අවුරුද්දේ පාස්කු සංවත්සරය ලං වෙනකොට රටට පෙන්නවා පිල්ලයන් නාඩගම. මේ අවුරුද්දේ පෙන්නනවා සලේ නාඩගම. ඔච්චරයි. පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය දැන් අවුරුදු 7ක් තිස්සේ හොඳටම විකුණුවා. දැන් මේ ප්‍රෝඩාවට තිත තියන්න කාලය ඇවිත් තිබෙනවා. ආණ්ඩුව හෙළි නොකරන පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරයේ මහමොලකරුවා කවුද කියන එක මාර්තු මාසේ 31 වෙනිදාට හෙළිදරව් කරන්න අපි සූදානම්. පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරයේ මහමොලකරු සොයායෑම නමින් පර්යේෂණ ග්‍රන්ථයක් අපි සකස් කරා. මේ ග්‍රන්ථයේ කියන සෑම දෙයක්ම කියලා තියෙන සාක්ෂි සහිතව. ඇත්තටම සාරා ජස්මින්ට මොකද වුනේ කියන එක සාක්ෂි සහිතව අපි මේ පොතෙන් පෙන්නනවා. සාරා ජස්මින් පිළිබඳ තුන්වන DNA පරීක්ෂණය කළේ ඇයි කරන්න නියෝග කළේ කවුද? ඒකේ ප්‍රතිඵලය මොකක්ද කියන එක ගැන විස්තරාත්මකව ග්‍රන්ථයේ සාකච්ඡා කරනවා. පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරයේ පිටිපස ඉන්දියාව, ඇමරිකාව හෝ ඊශ්‍රායලයේ සිටියාද කියන කාරණයක් මේ ග්‍රන්ථයේ සාකච්ඡා කරනවා. සහරාන්ට අනුග්‍රහය දක්වපු දේශපාලකයෝ කවුද? සහරාන්ට වෙනත් ආකාරයෙන් උදව් කරපු පුද්ගලයන් කවුද කියලා සාක්ෂි සහිතව මේ ග්‍රන්ථය හෙළිදරව් වෙනවා.
In the meantime, former President Ranil Wickremesinghe left for Singapore yesterday on a private visit accompanied by family members. Reports indicate the trip aims to secure medical treatment for a period exceeding a week. The visit follows recent reports regarding his health, though no further details on his condition have been officially released. The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption filed indictments against former Member of Parliament and Mihin Lanka CEO Sajin Vaskunawardena in the Colombo High Court today. The charges relate to the leasing of an aircraft for the airline between January and December 2007 without following proper tender procedures. Prosecutors allege these actions caused significant financial losses to the state while providing an unlawful advantage to Best Airlines. The 4 counts brought against the defendant fall under Section 70 of the Bribery Act concerning corruption and the misuse of public office. The Securities and Exchange Commission and the Bar Association of Sri Lanka are establishing a new regulatory framework to modernize the nation's capital markets. SEC Chairperson Senior Professor Harindra Disabandar announced the initiative under the 2021 SEC Act to ensure market integrity and investor protection. A master plan featuring 12 transformative projects aimed to attract foreign funds and digitize the Colombo Stock Exchange. Professor Disabandar stated that the Commission is now empowered to investigate violations and refer misconduct for criminal prosecution to align with global standards.
Now for some news in brief.
The Meteorological Department forecasted showers or thunder showers in several parts of the central, Sabaragamu, southern, northwestern and over provinces after 2 p.m. today.
The business news on Gold FM.
Crude oil prices edged higher today as market attention shifted back to potential threats against energy infrastructure in the Middle East. Brent crude futures rose by $1.76, representing a 1.76% increase to reach $104.09 a barrel. Meanwhile, US West Texas Intermediate crude saw an increase of 70 cents, trading at $99.41 a barrel. Sri Lanka's tea market is showing signs of recovery as exporters adopt alternative routes to reach destinations, including Iraq, Jordan and Turkey. Tea Board Chairman Rajpal Obesekara says unsold quantities at local auctions returned to normal levels of 10 to 12% last week. While some varieties popular in the Middle East saw price dips of 100 rupees, buying interest is now stabilizing.
International news on Gold FM.
President Donald Trump warns that the future of the NATO alliance faces a quote very bad unquote outlook if European allies refuse to assist in securing the Strait of Hormuz. Speaking from Air Force One, the president confirmed he is in discussion with 7 nations regarding the policing of the critical oil waterway, explicitly naming China as a country that must contribute to unblocking the channel. President Trump suggested that a scheduled summit with Chinese leader Xi Jinping could face delays if Beijing fails to cooperate, adding that the United States will remember those who do not provide support for the maritime mission. The diplomatic pressure comes as regional tensions escalate following a drone strike on a fuel tank near Dubai International Airport. which forced the world's busiest international hub to suspend all flights. While authorities in the UAE confirmed the fire is under control with no injuries reported, the incident follows a wave of nearly 2,000 missiles and drones launched by Iran during the current conflict. Saudi Arabia reported downing dozens of drones overnight, while heavy bombing continues in Tehran as Israel expands its campaign against what it describes as thousands of remaining targets within Iranian territory. In the meantime, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu posted a video of himself getting a cup of coffee and chatting with his aide on Sunday after rumors that he was dead or injured were aired by Iranian state media and spread online in Iran. In the video taken at a cafe in Jerusalem's outskirts and posted on Netanyahu's Telegram account, his aide asks him about the rumors. French President Emmanuel Macron said on Sunday he had asked Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian to put an immediate end to attacks against countries in the Middle East, whether directly or through proxies, including in Lebanon and Iraq. Macron said on X, quote, "I reminded him that France is acting within a strictly defensive framework aimed at protecting its interests, its regional partners and freedom of navigation, and but it is unacceptable for our countries to be targeted," unquote. Japan said today it was beginning a release of its strategic oil reserves after the International Energy Agency indicated earlier that the release would begin in Asia and Oceania before other regions. IAE members agreed to tap oil stockpiles to cushion the surge in prices caused by the war in the Middle East, by far the largest ever response of its kind. Japan, which depends on the Middle East for 95% of its oil imports, said Monday in a notice in its official government gazette that the level of oil reserves in the country is being lowered. Over in Tehran, residents describe a climate of intense fear as security checkpoints tighten across the capital amid a national internet blackout. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi maintains that his government sees no reason to discuss a ceasefire with Washington, stating that the time for talk ended with the US when they decided to launch attacks. The Iranian Foreign Minister claims that the Strait of Hormuz remains open to neutral vessels, contradicting Washington's assertions of a total blockade. Speaking to foreign media, Abbas Araghchi insists that the strategic waterway is only restricted to ships belonging to nations actively attacking Iran or their immediate allies. In a significant shift regarding Tehran's nuclear capabilities, the minister confirms the country is prepared to relinquish its stockpile of highly enriched uranium to secure a diplomatic resolution.
The Strait of Hormuz is open. It is only closed to the tankers and ships belong to our enemies, to those who are attacking us and their allies. Others are free to pass. Of course, many of them prefer not because of their security concerns. This has nothing to do with us. They want to justify an unjustifiable act of aggression. So they are trying to make some excuses for themselves. I never said that we are going to make bombs. I said that we have 440 kilos of 60% enriched material, and that was not a secret. That is what is mentioned in the reports of the IAEA. So I said that, look, this is mentioned in the report. This, if enriched more, can be good enough for 10 bombs, as your own experts claims. So we are ready to give them away. We are ready to dilute them, to downblend them into lower degrees. And by saying that, I wanted to say that the concession that we are making is really big.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Warner Brothers Discovery secured a historic haul at the Oscars, led by the 6-win sweep of Best Picture winner one battle after another. Paul Thomas Anderson's drama also earned trophies for Best Director and Best Adapted Screenplay, while Sean Penn took home Best Supporting Actor. The studio's dark thriller Sinners followed with 4 awards, including a Best Actor win for Michael P. Jordan and a historic cinematography win for Autumn Durald Akbab. Jessie Buckley saw the Best Actress for her role in Hamnet, while Amy Madigan won Best Supporting Actress for Weapons, marking a milestone 40 years after her first nomination. The animated feature K-pop Demon Hunters made history with 2 wins, including Best Original Song for Golden. In a rare occasion, the Best Live-Action Short category resulted in a tie between the singers, and 2 people exchanging saliva.
Sports news on Gold FM.
Organisers of the Lanka Premier League announced a delay to the player draft originally scheduled for the 22nd of this month. Cricket sources attribute the decision to travel disruptions caused by the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, which prevents several franchise owners from reaching the venue. Despite the change in the draft schedule, the tournament remains set to take place from the 8th of July to the 8th of August, as previously planned. And that's all the news for now. Stay tuned to Gold FM for the latest updates. This is Abhinindra Soma for Gold.